Okay. Hi, Stella. Stella, how are you? I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Hi, Kara. Hello, peoples. That's good to hear, sweetie. Welcome, welcome, welcome one, welcome all. Welcome to Narc Survival 101. Anyone who is passing through, anyone who's new to the channel, welcome to Narc Survival 101, place where survivors, it's dedicated for survivors of narcissistic, domestic, any kind of relational abuse. My name is Erica. For the people who are already following me, for people who are returning subscribers, welcome back, guys. And for anyone who's new, this is a platform designed for victims and survivors of abuse, narcissistic abuse, domestic abuse, any form of relational abuse, even be in your friendships. It could be in your friendships, it could be in your family, it can be in your workplace, it can be anywhere. This is a weekly mental health check in that I do every week, every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're new and you happen to pop through and you find this live to be informative, hey, check through the other content. If you find it to be even more informative, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you are notified each and every time I do a video or when I do a live. What else? I'm not good at introductions. I'm really not. I'm really not good at it. I'm a simple person just trying to help people out, trying to help people get through the motions of whatever nonsense they were put through, whatever nonsense they had been going through. And I'm just here to help them to find their way. Let's see. I said, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. I've been doing this for a few years and I still am not good at this. Um, I got to start writing this stuff down. I really got to start writing this stuff down. So, first things first, just a few disclaimers. Number one, I am not a mental health professional. Okay, not yet. I am well, I'm a student right now. So, I'm not a mental health professional. However, I've been through some stuff. I know what you're going through. More than likely, I know what you're going through. And if you've gone through any of my other content, you will also see that I know what the hell I'm talking about. But if you are seeking therapy, if you are seeking professional help, please continue to do so. Please continue to do whatever you need to do to aid you in your healing, your mental wellness, and continue to go to the professionals because, you know, hey, they got their degrees. They must know what they're doing, right? And of course, number two, I don't do bullies. I don't do shaming. I don't do any of that. So, letting it be known. I think the main thing I should also let you guys know for those who are new to the channel, and of course, for those who catch it on the stream, I use profanity. I use it quite often. I try my best not to use it, but sometimes, hey, it happens. So just so you know, I'm not with the bullying, the shaming. I'm not with the clout chasers. I'm not with the people who disrespect. I'm not with any of those things because I can be equally disrespectful and it just, it's not necessary. It really isn't. Okay? This is a safe place, safe haven for people who have gone through the motions and are just trying to get help for themselves. Stella, after I lost my dad, it triggered so much past trauma from the crazy narc. Yeah, one of the things I noticed is that when you experience other things in your life, if you experience other forms of trauma, it can be very triggering. It can trigger things within you, your relationships and a lot of things tend to come to the surface for you. And I don't find it to be uncommon that that happens because you're dealing with a lot. You're dealing with a lot. You're dealing with your trauma from what you had gone through in your relationship, and now you're dealing with the trauma of losing a loved one, and it can be very overwhelming. It's just a lot to take in. So just know that you're not alone in that, and know that you're gonna get through it. You will get through it. It's gonna take some time, but you will get through it. I would I would assume that, more right now you're just more focused on dealing with your feelings and your grief with regards to your dad. So, which is where your mind should be. But little triggers here and there will come through. Little triggers here and there will come through. And you've been working so hard on yourself. So continue to just focus on what the end game is. Focus on that, and focus on what you would need to do, because listen, it takes a lot of strength to I'm not going to say be okay, but it takes a lot of strength to accept that we have, lost someone dear to us, in your case your dad. And the grief with that is more than likely going to overwhelm any other grief that you have ever experienced, or any other trauma you ever experienced. And in this case, you know, yes, it's going to bring the traumas, it's going to bring the triggers through. But you know, those are the kinds of things that you just kind of got to go like this, just brush it off, because it's not really worth thinking about. And well, that person was never really worth thinking about, but it kind of gives you that incentive. It gives you that, it pushes you to say, you know what, let me just move on from this. Let me just not even worry. I'm not even worried about this, because I'm focusing on this right now. So you're welcome, Stella. So guys, maybe next week my introduction will be a lot better. Hopefully it will be. But we're here to just get straight into the point of things, and we're just here to, um get information out there. We're here to get information out there, and we're here to just pretty much um help those who need help. Now, there were a few things that I did want to talk about with regards to the personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder. The reason I wanted to talk about a few things, even though I'm pretty sure a lot of people know a lot of the signs, a lot of people know, some of the things to look for, and I always make it clear. I always, make it my duty to help people to understand that not every single narcissist will act in the same way, or I should say not every single narcissist will act within the same order. In that, some people are used to love bombing. Some people are, they can see a love bomber now, more than ever. But you get a lot of general information pretty much telling you, well, this is how a narcissist is. They love bomb you, they traumatically bond you in the interim, and then they discard you, and then of course they try to recycle you after a discard. And again, each narcissist, well, let's go back for a second, because I actually put this on my blog, which is on my website, narcsurvival101.com. The first thing that what we have to understand is, what is narcissism? Okay, and people tend to, they use that word a lot. People use that word a lot, and people will call out someone to be a narcissist simply because that person cheated on them, or simply because that person did some really crappy, made a really crappy move. And I can't, listen, I can't fault people. You went through what you went through. You've gone through your own emotional trauma, your own psychological trauma. You've gone through your own things. So I can't say that what you dealt with was a narcissist, nor can I say that they weren't a narcissist. What I can say is, we have to be extremely careful with how we categorize things, because there are other personality disorders that do resemble narcissistic personality disorder. Okay, narcissistic personality disorder is under the cluster B of personality disorders, which describes erratic behavior, emotional behavior, impulsive behaviors. And there are a couple of other personality disorders that fall under that same category. Alias, which therapy session is better, online or in person? It doesn't really matter which one you do. What matters is that you're comfortable with the person that you are having a session with. Your comfortability is what's really important. Whether it be online or in person, you're still going to get the same form of advice, the same form of help. It's really all about your comfortability, because you have, people who go to therapy, and there are, listen, you have therapists that are good at what they do. You have therapists that are specialized in certain areas under the umbrella of psychology. And in this case, this is trauma therapy. This is therapy that you have to, because people go to a therapist, you're going to someone who has studied what it is that you've experienced. They studied this in school, or maybe they experienced it on their own. But you're going to a complete stranger, and you're giving them all of your personal information, all of your background. It's about your comfortability. So whether it be online or it be in person, it doesn't really, I don't really think there's much of a difference. I think the reason they've made online therapy available is because of the pandemic. The pandemic is, had really made things harder for a lot of people, especially for those who were already going to therapy. Everything had to become virtual. So it's just really about, more about who you're comfortable with, and if you feel that what you're going to therapy for, it's effective, it's effective therapy. You want to also make sure of that as well. But yeah, as I was saying, narcissism is a spectrum, guys. It's a spectrum. And the thing that we have to understand when it boils down to narcissism is that, there are different scales on that spectrum. But again, a lot of people use the term narcissist, narcissism, narcissistic. They use these frames, but more so narcissist. They use this phrase a lot to describe people, whether it be in their lives, whether it be in their, in their general setting or what have you. A lot of people are quick to use the term narcissist to describe someone who is, it could be a crappy person. But being as there is no full, you can't diagnose people. I usually tell people, refer to them as being narcissistic, at least, because at least that it's the behaviors. Because if that person goes and they're not diagnosed as a narcissist, as NPD, then you really couldn't refer to them as being a narcissist, because it's not within a diagnosis. You can refer to their behaviors as being extremely narcissistic, which is, derivative of narcissist. Now, narcissism. Narcissism has really, really grown over a matter of let's just put it this way, ever since social media has really taken off, narcissism has really, really grown in within society. Okay, you have overexposure, you have, plenty of people competing with one another. It's just a competitive atmosphere, really, it is. And with utilizing social media, it basically anchors the narcissism within our society. You have people you know who are equipped for it. They're you have people who are just pretty much more focused on getting attention and getting likes and getting, just getting people to watch them, and to, just to pretty much become involved in that. They're being admired and they're being adored, and they have, harems and harems and harems, or groups of people who want them, who desire them. Narcissistic people, they're out there. A lot of them are out there. And I've, seen quite a few on social media. I've seen quite a few people, quite a few accounts, quite a few photos, quite a few everything. I've seen it, and it's very attention seeking. And face facts, guys, we live in a society now, we live in a generation now where everything is all about attention. Everything is all about, you know, look at me. Everything's all about doing. I've watched videos online where I'm like, yo, you have got to be kidding me. Like, this is just, if this doesn't scream attention seeking, if this doesn't, people don't get this, I don't know what else to think. So with that being said, again, there are other personality disorders that go under the same cluster. Okay, you know, people are people are not really understanding that narcissism First of all, people who are diagnosed with NPD is about, I think, 4 or 5% of the world's population. Let's keep that in mind. Number two, I've noticed that a lot of people are more focused on, you know, what they can do to get back at a narcissist. Like I've watched videos of different people. I've watched videos. I like to, I really like to look at the algorithm of things because I like to understand what exactly are people trying to get information on. And I've seen videos where they say, oh, do this and it'll drive the narcissist crazy, or say these words and it'll drive them bananas and it will do this and that. We need to stop focusing on the superficial level of things. The superficial level of things is, okay, my ex is a narcissist. They cheated on me. They did whatever, and I just want to get back at them. We fail to understand that these people, what if they are diagnosed NPD, or if they have any form, any kind of other, mental illnesses, it's a mental illness. And what a lot of people don't understand, hi Andrea, what a lot of people don't understand is that the best thing to do is to stay away from these people, is to stay no contact, stay away from these people. Do not focus on getting revenge, do not focus on, you know throwing things in their face. Do not sit there. I cannot reiterate this enough. Don't focus on trying to put things out there to shame them, or hurt their feelings. Or, I mean, these are people who don't have empathy. It's like you're trying to hurt the feelings of a rock. How can you do that? You can't do that. Oh, Kara, no, they don't. I mean, and it's part of their nature. It's part of what was ingrained in their mind. For them to change, they would have to become fully aware of who they are, what they do, and they have to want to change their behaviors. And the majority of them, a lot of them have gotten away with so much. Why would they change? Why would someone, excuse me, who's gotten whatever they wanted out of situations from people, why would they want to change? Why would they want to change these behaviors? And at the end of the day, if we are aware of these behaviors and we're aware that they're aware of what they're doing as far as right from wrong, but they still choose not to change, you know, the best bet is to just walk away. It's just to walk away. But I do notice, hi Chris, how are you? But I do notice that a lot of people tend to focus on, the kind of content that is like, well, what do I do to, to this will drive them crazy. I want to drive them. Why? Why do you want to drive someone? Why do you want to make someone who is capable of doing some severe damage because they walk with their ego? These are people who work from their ego. They work directly from their ego because they are very insecure people, okay? Very low self-esteem. So why would high official why would someone want to take on that task, that chance? Why would someone want to do that towards someone who is clearly not not mentally fit? I mean, because if you guys have experienced narcissistic rage, or because people tend to stand on the outside looking in, like, oh well, it seemed like you two just had a toxic relationship. It was bad, or whatever it was, what it was. But you have people who've been in domestically abusive relationships with narcissists, physically abusive relationships with narcissists. Okay. Let's talk about some of the things they do, like control, for example. Control, whether you're married to them, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're a relative that you live with them, whether you're friends with them, they love to utilize control. They want to make sure they have full control of the situation, of the relationship, no matter what they are to you. Okay. Them not having control means that there's a chance that they will fail. And in order to not fail, they feel that it's necessary to have control, because that for them is their protection, it's their safety net. I need to control this situation so that way, when I'm ready to dispose of this and I'm ready to just walk away because I know for a fact that at some point I'm going to get bored. I'm no longer going to want to be in this. I need to have full control of the relationship. But I need to convince you that you have some say so in it. They're not stupid when it boils down to making you feel like your opinion matters, your say so matters. They're not, they know what they're doing with that. I pay very close attention to family dynamics. It matters. They do not know how to cut the toxic cord. When it comes to a family, no, they don't, because the family has always been the one enabling that. The family has always been the one enabling those behaviors. They've enabled, maybe there are other narcissistic people in the family, that, when you dealt with someone who's a narcissist, you, hi, little Miss Queen, how are you, sweetie? When you dealt with someone who is a narcissist, you got to understand is that it starts with the home. It starts with the upbringing from childhood up until adulthood. Family, not every family of a narcissist, you know, have nothing but narcissists, because I'm sure a lot of us have narcissistic family members, and a lot of us are complete opposite of those people. You do have other family members in those dynamics that are not like them, and those are the considered the black sheep. Other family members, which are the enablers, those are the ones who are manipulated. Those are the ones who, are very passive aggressive. They're just like, okay, you're just throwing a tantrum, we'll let you cool off or whatever, and that's it. Like, they don't put them in their place. Enablers do not put a manipulator in their place. They never put them in their place for fear of having a big blowout. So they are passive aggressive. They just say, you know something, I'm just gonna let that go, because for fear. Maybe they fear the person. Maybe they fear that it's gonna blow up into, or maybe that person, the manipulator, knows something exploitative, and for they fear that the manipulator will go out there and exploit them. So they basically, like, blackmail, emotional and psychological blackmail. So with enablers, these people get away with so much stuff. They get away with the things that they do. And if you notice, down the line, if they're going from relationship to relationship or if they're going from person to person, they don't have to be in a relationship, guys. They could just be dealing with people. They could just be messing around with people, because these people have resources. And if they can do that, if they can mess around with several different people and not commit, it's because they don't, hey, I don't have to take on the responsibility of a relationship. I don't have to sit here. If you notice, well, narcissists are also known, because though they're known to want to be in relationships because they want to get supply, they're also known to being the other the other person, the mistress, the mister on the side. They are also known for being that as well. So they're not just relationship kind of people. Relationships, that's not the only resource that they have. Relationships are just simply, what? Hey, I get perks, I get benefits. The only difference is that they have to put on the mask, because they have to lead that person on. But if they are the side piece, if they're the side piece of someone, you mean to tell me I don't have to commit? I don't have to give you all of me, and you can just give me what I want out of this situation? That's like a kid in a candy store. That's why a lot of them, especially, well, female narcissists are very, very big on this when it comes to being the other woman. They will be the other woman. They'll be the one that, to do whatever. I guess, his woman is day and she's night. It's like the yin and the yang for them. But female narcissists will, yeah, they're okay with being the other woman. They're okay with saying, hey, I'll be a side piece. Just give me what I want. Just pay, give me money, pay my bills, do whatever. I don't care. Do you think there's a certain exes that narcs can't let go of, or they can't let go of everyone they're involved with? The exes that I believe they cannot let go of are the ones who slam the door on them, because that's a complete, there's it's like a complete shatter to their ego. But it depends, because if they had an ex, or they had a partner that was completely vulnerable, completely genuine. Remember, guys, we live in a society now where everything is like, if you ain't making money, don't talk to me. If you ain't driving fancy cars, don't talk to me. If you're not doing this, don't talk to me. If you're not doing that, you understand? We live in a generation where everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people, it's based on superficiality. It's based on false, it's like based on fake living, like straight stunting, fronting on people, fake flexing. That's what they do. People are so quick to, just to do all kinds of craziness to get attention on social media. You know, we live in a society where now everything is just so materialistic and superficial. There's really no genuineness. There's really no authenticity, like that genuine authenticity. But if you had that, you had that authenticity. If you were the one who was catering to their needs, you were the one who was providing for them, whether it be emotional, financial, sexual, psychological, okay? You were coddling, I don't want to say coddling, but you were pretty much nurturing to them. The nurturing ones, the ones who were willing to bend over backwards and just really overextend themselves. Those are the ones that, especially when they walk away, they leave and they're like, nope, there is no entryway, you can't come back in. Those are the ones that they can't let go, because you rejected them. You said no. You said no. You weren't willing to play with them. You weren't willing to let them toy with you. Everyone else is, if it's not that serious, or if it's something, well, I'm gonna, because sometimes they may come across people that are like them in nature. They may come across those kind of people too, or they come across situations that just it gets boring very, very fast, you know. Or if they go from person to person to person, it's kind of like a drug addict getting their fix, or it's like a temporary high and then boom, onto the next. Yeah. 1 second, guys, I'm sorry, I just want to make sure. I keep forgetting that this, there we go. But it's primarily because people who are narcissists, they're disposable. People who come into their lives, they're disposable. Okay. If they don't feel like your supply, or if the person's supply wasn't really, adequate enough for them or sustainable enough for them, they'll treat that person like crap. They'll, without thinking twice about it, they'll just be like, whatever with it. But if your supply was stroking their ego, making them feel good, they were gaining some form of, they were gaining validation, they were gaining resources out of you. It's the people that they maintain, that they received resources from, whatever those resources were. Okay. Support, financial support, again, emotional, psychological, sexual, you know anything that they can take out of you to pretty much work in their favor, to pretty much take care of them. Those are the ones that they usually find hard to let go. Do you think when the narc sees me after 3 years in court testifying against him, will he feel away? I look way better physically and evolved mentally. I mean, he might. He may feel, they're usually the types that their pride and their ego may not let them show it, especially if it's in a public place. It's not going to let them show it. Okay, they're going to. I mean, listen, he may feel probably not in the way that you would anticipate him, even though it's been after 3 years. He could be pissed. He could be pissed. He could have revenge on the brain. He can have this idea of, wanting to get back at you, or wanting to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be a myriad of thoughts. It doesn't necessarily have to be I look a lot different, from before than I did, I look a lot different now than I did from before. When you have someone who has on their mind, you did me dirty, even though you didn't do them dirty, but they have interpreted your actions as doing them dirty, doing them wrong, it would it would behoove you to just keep in mind that their thoughts, their thoughts may not be as kind as what you described it, and that will they see me in a different way, or will they feel some kind of way, I look different and I'm in a different headspace. Now, when you have someone who has, like, thoughts of feeling betrayed, or feeling hurt, you know a narcissistic individual can do this one of two ways. They could either try to hurt you by, doing something they know would be deemed as really, really shady and really wrong right then and there, or they could try to get into your good graces, try to convince you. And listen, guys, they can do it. They can do it if they wanted to. They can do it. They can sit there. It could be a year, it could be 2 years. You could sit there thinking, oh crap, this person changed. They changed for the better. They changed. And the minute your guard is down, that's it. That's it. They will sit there and wait. They will sit there and plot. They will hold it all in. They will hold it all in. And when they feel the time is right, that you have lowered your guard, they should choose to do so, exact revenge on you and hurt you in the worst way possible. Or in some cases, they can become physically violent too. You know, there are so many different scenarios, so many different outcomes. So I would just strongly say, hi Wheeler Nathan, how are you, sweetie? I would strongly say that if when you go to court, you got to stay on your end, and you got to leave that person on their end. Okay, don't focus so much on what they're thinking, or what they may be feeling. Focus more on, when all of this is said and done, can y'all keep him in here while I go and give me a head start to get the hell out of here, so this person doesn't follow me, so this person doesn't attempt to try to do anything, so this person doesn't have people following me, because these people will have people watching you. They will have people following you. They'll have people watching you. They will have people calling you. They'll probably call you from random numbers, from different places, different spaces. These are the things that I refer to when I talk about the dangers of narcissists, the dangers of people with mental illnesses, the dangers, of narcissistic personality disorder. It's not just about infidelity. It's not just about, oh, you broke my heart. It's not just about, you're a womanizer, or you're a Jezebel, or you're a liar, or you're a cheater. It's not just about that. It goes way deeper, and it's more severe than people think. A lot of people may not have dealt with people on the pathological scale of things, because the higher it goes up in the scale, the more dangerous it is. Maybe some people dealt with the superficial types that are just like, about status and money, and getting what they want out of people, and abusing, and using, and stealing, whatever. Those are superficial things. You do have narcissists on the pathological end, on that very high end, that's about control, that's about, that their life depended on it. Like, their partner feels like a prisoner in their own home. Okay, we're talking micromanaging everything, money. Okay, micromanaging where that person goes, what that person does, who that person talks to. Okay, what that person wears, to the point that if the person doesn't, they can get physically, in physical altercations. It can get very violent and very dangerous. Yeah. Eric, I've experienced narc rage, especially in the car driving. I couldn't escape easily. Narcissistic rage is a very, it's a very, I, I refer to it as a very severe trigger for the person who is enduring the rage. And when a narcissistic person is enduring, when they're going through narcissistic rage, it's almost synonymous, but clearly what I'm going to compare it to is obviously a lot less scary. It's synonymous to your child. Let's say you have your child in the shopping center or whatever, and you're buying groceries, and your child wants a pack of cookies, and you're like, no, you can't have those cookies. And they are throwing tantrums. They're getting really, really upset, and they're screaming, and they're, like going, they're screaming until they're blue in the face. And then they start to become, well, this has never happened to me because my son knows better. I don't play that. But, I've seen videos, and I've seen even children where they become so, I can't use another word for it, where they become so evil. They become like really evil, where they start to do evil things. Like they'll start to pinch, or they'll start to like throw things, or they'll start to break things, or they'll start to like get, like really out of hand. That's what I compare it to. I compare it to a child throwing really bad tantrums because they're not getting what they want, because they're not getting what they desire. It's like, you're supposed to. It's the attitude of you're supposed to. When you're in front of someone with narcissistic rage, you're impeding. You are impeding on something. Whatever they got going on, whatever they're trying to do, whatever they're trying to negotiate with you, you're not in agreement with them. So because you're not agreeing with them, they get very pissed off. They get very upset, and it manifests into something very scary, extremely scary. And to the point that, they can black out. Something can happen. Anything can happen. If you ever find yourself in that situation, if you ever find yourself in that kind of situation, let's say you're in the car and that person is driving and they are in the midst of narcissistic rage. Listen, the minute the car stops, if you hit a red light, whatever, get out of the damn car. Don't even sit long enough to stay in that situation. When I experienced that, when I witnessed it, I'm not even gonna say when I witnessed it in front of me, you know, the beginning of it was weird because it really didn't manifest itself too much. But I was in the same situation as you, Stella, because when that night happened, and it was obviously I was not giving this person what they wanted. I was not fit. I was not surrendering to basically come into an agreement of having their cake and eating it too, or just wanting to go out and get their ego stroked because they were under the impression that I was gonna hurt them. Narcissists don't just leave you because they get bored, guys. When they discard you and they do these things, it's because they know that their behaviors are pushing the envelope a little too much for you. So you decide to say, no, we need to talk about this. And when you decide to bring it to their attention, that's their cue. It's their cue. They're saying, wait a minute, this person never brought these things up before. They're bringing it up now, which means they're seeing through my bullshit, which means they're going to discard me. They're going to reject me. They're going to abandon me. So what do? They hurt you before you hurt them. Okay? They have it already incepted in their mind. Oh, you're going to hurt me. You're going to lie. You're going to cheat on me. You're going to go out there. You're going to find somebody else. You're going to be the one to discard me and treat me like trash, which I think if they are familiar with that, something, if they've gone through it, it's because they've dealt with people who have treated them like that. They've dealt with people who have treated them like that. But because you're going to do these things for me, you're going to do these things to me, I have to do it to you first. And I was in the same situation where I was in the car with the person, and they just sped off while I was still in the car with them. They just sped off in the car on the I guess that's considered an expressway, freeway, highway. I don't know. I don't know the difference between any of them. And I have no idea where this person was going. They were just so intent and they were so angry and they were so, and I'm like, and I wasn't even like I'm like, yo, what is wrong with you? Like you seriously have issues because this is not even warranted. And I listen, it may sound silly, it may sound kind of like dramatic if you want to call it that. But we're just driving in the dead of night on the expressway. I think we hit a highway and I saw nothing but darkness and trees and forests. And I said, oh shit, this dude's just gonna, I'm never gonna see my son again. Is this where this is leading to? Because that was my thought. I didn't know what was gonna happen. And clearly that wasn't the case because they ended up turning back around. And that I should have just gotten out the car the minute that person dropped back at my place. I should have just gotten out the car and just left. That should have been my sign. No, did I do that? No, guys, I didn't do that. I didn't do it. You know why I didn't do it? Because I'm too busy sitting here thinking to myself, I can save this person. I can help this person. Why is this person being this way towards me? I'm not their enemy. I'm not the one who's trying to hurt them. So why are they doing this towards me? When the rage hit, that it came to full manifestation, that it was right in front of my face, to the point that I literally like feared that person at that precise moment. I said, no. I said, no, no. What am I doing? And even then, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. Even then, I wasn't really fully with both feet out the door. I was still one foot in the door because I loved this person. I cared about this person. And I was not there. I did not come into that person's life to hurt them. I didn't come into their life to treat them like an option or treat them like trash, or yeah, I never emasculated them. I didn't do any of those things. But when I saw that come into full manifestation, when I just saw the devil looking at me. Man, listen, you gotta tell me twice. I got out the car. I got out the. What was I supposed to do? You know. Wheeler, what happens when you're involved with a narcissist that you work with, and they are in a relationship and live together? Isn't that, Erica? Isn't that very toxic? My narcissist ex monkey branched me to a coworker. Well, if you work with them and they basically went on to the next person in front of you, that's intentional. That's intentional because they know that it's just completely inappropriate. First of all, you don't eat where you shit. You don't eat where you shit. Okay. And I'll make that clear. So anybody who's dealing with anybody who in their office, in their school, or wherever, don't eat where you shit. Don't mess with neighbors. Don't mess with, don't do those things, because if you guys do not work out, if things do not happen, it's going to be very, very awkward. It's going to be very, very tense. You're going to have a lot of tension between you guys. Hi, Butch. Hi, sweetie. It's going to be a very, very tense situation. Now, her dealing with another coworker, it's a form of triangulation. She's trying to get a reaction out of you, and at the same time, it's kind of like it's like trying to make people compete. But she knows that that situation is very, very. It puts you in a very awkward position because now not only do you have to see her, but you have to see the both of them together. You have to see the both of them, you know, in the same office setting as you. Okay. She did that shit purposely. That was a purposeful move on her end. Your story's triggering me, Eric. I've been in that same situation. He was driving 95 miles per hour in his car with me in it No, it's like he was not present but angry with me for asking him to slow down. Yeah. Yeah, when I was like, when we were driving, I asked, I said, where are you, where are we, where are you going, like where are you taking me? And the response I got was, none of your fucking business. If you want to get out the car, get out the car now. Like, damn. Like, I shit you not, guys. If you guys were a fly on the wall in my previous relationship, I don't listen. If I ever did, wrong, I would say, yo, yeah, listen, I did wrong. If I ever did him dirty, I would say, hey, yeah, I'm not gonna front. I can't lie. I did him dirty. I didn't do any of those things. I didn't even disrespect him. I never even cursed him out. I never even cursed him out. I never even did anything to remotely disrespect him. Nothing. Like, I can literally sit here and tell you absolutely nothing, which is why I was so shocked and surprised. I could understand if I was a bitch, and I could understand if I was emasculative, that I was emasculating him, or I was making him feel like less of a man, or if I was insulting him or cheating on him, or running around or messing with one of his friends. I did no such thing. None. I did nothing but catered. I catered for this person, okay? I catered to him. I would do things that would, that I think, which helps me realize that the things that I contribute to a relationship, if or when I get involved in another relationship, someone who truly appreciates those things will more than likely show me in a different way. But I could honestly, like, listen, when your discard happened, because no matter how much people might talk, they might tell people other stories, they may say other things. Well, this person was like this, but that person was like that. They could sit there talking all of that about you to people, but remember something: God was there when this situation happened. Okay, He was there. He saw everything. God was there. He saw everything, and my entire situation, which I can say this with full conviction, that man should be ashamed of himself. He really should be, because to treat someone like that, who has had nothing but respect and love, and wanted the best for that person, to treat someone like that, and then think for a second that you know it's okay, it's okay, because after all of that, a couple of days later, I get a text message as if nothing happened. Like, if that person, I didn't even want to rock the boat, because I was afraid that if I said something, it might push him to do something else. I don't know. I lost all trust for that person. Like, literally all trust for that person. The one person that I trusted with my own life, I trusted him with my own life, because I thought he was, he was, he's a father. You know what I'm saying? He's a father. So you wouldn't think that, someone who is a father, who, is, and then again, looks can be deceiving. I don't know. But all I do know is that right there was it's just a very scary moment. And I know scary moments. Like, it brought me back to that look in his face, brought me back to when I was physically assaulted when I was a teenager by someone who was a sociopath. And he literally had me in the air by my neck, by my throat, had me in the air. But the look on his face before he did that, it was that look, like that stone cold, really scary kind of look. I'll give a trigger warning, guys, because I don't want to get anyone upset, but I can talk about it and not feel, I just learned to not let it control me. I learned to not let it affect me like that anymore. But it was a look I recognized. The look that I saw that night with my ex was a look that I had seen before when I was a teenager, and that person, before that person wrapped their hands around my throat It was the same look. So I just decided that I was like, you know something, this is not worth losing my life. It's not worth what the possibilities of this person, what their actions are. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. I had to think about my son. I had to think about there has to be some kind of message. There has to be something out of this. If I let this go, something has to come of it. And I did what I had to do. I wasn't ashamed to be with that person. I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't care, that I didn't love him, that I wasn't invested, I wasn't fully invested, that I wasn't trying to create a life with him, because I was. But I, God just showed me that that person was not my person. That person was not the one for me. And the way He showed me was He allowed me to see things that truly broke my heart. He allowed me to witness things that truly tore me apart, like really tore me apart. And people on His end, people on their end, guys, other people on their end are probably looking at you, or probably will look at you like, oh, you're bitter, you're this, you're that, you can't get over it, or whatever the case may be. But if you notice, when they talk shit in your absence, okay, they were telling people things about you. Were you there to defend yourself? No, you were not. Were you there to tell them what was going on? No, you were not. You were not there to say or to speak your piece, or to even, challenge that, to fight it. You weren't there for any of those things. Notice how they do it when you're not around. Okay. And some of you were probably under the impression that we're working on things, our relationship is good. Meantime, you didn't know they're smearing your name behind your back. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay. But yeah, God showed me that this is what's going on. This is what this is. And this is what it has come to. What do you want to do? You know, I wanted more than anything to be with that person. But at the end of the day, God showed me that why I can't. God showed me why I shouldn't. I have to put my son first. I'm not like, I can't be the kind of mom who says, well, I don't care what my son needs or wants or whatever. My needs come first. No, no. And by putting my son first, I managed to just work on my healing. I managed to stay away from a relationship. I managed to, obtain different things in my life, and get things back in order, regain my peace, my sanity, my mental health. And now I'm going to school so I can get my degree in psychology. I mean, you know, I really can't say I would have achieved, I probably wouldn't have accomplished or achieved these things if I had stayed in that situation, because it would have just held me back. But hold on one second. I want to make sure I didn't forget anybody. Stella, oh my God, Eric is scary. I got stuck on the highway crying. I had to calm him down too. And they make you responsible for that. You got me upset, so you got to calm me down. And I was just talking. We were talking about it yesterday, right? When I was saying, what the hell was I thinking? In looking back at my relationships, or you know relationships, I guess, and just kind of really looking back at everything, like, what was I thinking? What was I fighting for? Why I had such severe codependency that I would literally just hold on for the sake of just having someone in my life. Why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? And more importantly, why am I showing my son that it's okay to be like this, So a woman will beg them, to be with someone who suffers codependency issues, so he can take it to his advantage and use them and lie to them and cheat on them. And I'm not teaching my son that. I'm not teaching my son that. And I won't enable those kind of behaviors. And I think that's one of the reasons why they get pissed. They get pissed off at you because you won't enable it. You see things for what they are and you're like, no. Go back to the whole harem of different people that you were dealing with. All right. Or if they went back to their exes, go back to your ex. Go back to your BM, go back to your BD, go back to your, your little skanky females, or your little player dudes, or whatever you guys want to call them. Go back to these people and just leave us alone. Just leave us alone. But unfortunately, they continue watching, they continue just doing what they want to do, and they feel entitled. They're entitled to know what you're doing, who you're with, where you're going, if you're dealing with someone, if you're in a relationship. Because if you're dealing with someone new and if they catch whim of that, then they're going to try to find ways to come back in. And it's simply because they can't stand seeing you move on or succeed without them, you know? And these are the more grandiose types too, guys. The ones that are like, no, I'm entitled to be successful with you. So we've been together for years. It's a pattern that we have. It's a thing that we do. No, that thing that anybody does, if anybody goes through repetitive cycles, stop that. Stop that. The majority of relationships with a narcissist, it's never just you and them. There's always another person. Yep. Because they need to constantly be filled up. They need to constantly be fueled. So when you're not there to do it for them, they got somebody else to. It's like, I can't feed your ego 24 hours. I can't feed your ego 24 hours a day. I can't soothe your insecurities 24 hours a day. I won't do those things. You know, dealing with narcissistic people, you're just dealing with people who feel that, my needs are more important than yours. My problems are much bigger than yours. Okay, my existence is more important than your existence. Like, that's the type of personality that a lot of them have. But the vulnerable types, which are the opposite of the grandiose types, they're the ones who are more insecure. Like, they are severely insecure that they wear it as a freaking armor. They wear it as an armor. They don't sit there saying, oh, I'm important and I'm this and I'm that, and give you that whole, no, they give you false humility. They're modest. Modest. I'm not important. I'm not that big. I'm not, I'm just a regular, simple person in the world. And no, but little do they tell you, their insecurities run so deep. Their level of shame runs so deep that they have to make sure that if they are in a relationship with you, they have full control of that relationship, which brings on those tendencies. It brings on those tendencies, paranoia, okay, arguments, constantly fighting, okay, questioning, monitoring you and the things that you do, you know, clocking you, clocking you from when you get home to when you wake up in the morning, you take your shower, you get ready for work, just clocking your every move. Who wants to live like that? Who wants to be in a situation like that? Yeah, you can tell by the way they talk about others and mistreat you. They're extremely insecure. And a lot of the time, it's to get you to feel some kind of way, it's to get you to work harder. So if they mistreat you, but they put someone else on a pedestal, or they treat someone else with respect, or they're kind, or if they're, when it comes, like, when it boils to the traumatic bonding, you notice the back and forth behavior, right? When they're nice 1 minute, but then they're like completely opposite the next. It's like, yo, where the hell did that even come from? But if you notice, like, if they're around their friends, It's just completely one disposition. It's one cool, calm disposition. It's like, and you're looking at that person from the other side of the room. You're looking at them like, where has this person been? Why am I not getting just this person? Why is it your friends can get this person, but when we go home or if we're going out or something, it's something else? It's just you treat me like I'm a freaking child. Or they'll talk to you condescendingly. They'll talk to you like you don't know what you're talking about, or like you're a little kid and they're the adult trying to teach you how to do things the right way or how to say things or it. Listen, my ex hated his mother, calling her a narcissist. He used to talk about her so much, made my head spin. He probably hated her because she probably rejected him. She rejected him. If and the apple clearly didn't fall too far from the tree. It didn't fall too far from the tree. She probably, which narcissistic mothers do that. She rejected him emotionally. She rejected him on all levels. He didn't really decide to take the time to understand that it had nothing to do with him. Her traumas are her traumas. She just projected onto him. But because he didn't take the time to understand that, what did he end up doing? He ended up becoming like the person that he resents the most. So when he treats women like crap, he's really looking at his mother. He's looking at his mother. He's making people pay for what his mother did, okay, or what he claims his mother did. Because at the end of the day, regardless, I mean, listen, whether she is one or not, I don't know. But you know something, if you hate your mother so much and she was so abusive and she was so manipulative or whatever the case may be, because that's what narcissists do. If you hate your mother so much, why are you taking out on me, which you should be confronting your mother with? He is taking it out on you because you're the opposite of his mother. You are clearly, your demeanor, your disposition is different. Okay? Or because let's not shut our eyes, or he's lying to you. She was simply enabling, and he's probably more than likely ended up becoming like his father, who was probably abusive towards the mother, and he sees the mother as being weak. There's so many different scenarios that can play on this. So many different scenarios. Yes, guys. I have August. I am not doing any group chats currently. I do have August one-on-one sessions. It is on the website. So if you are interested in a one-on-one session, I do have August already put up. narcsurvival101.com. I will be starting school in September. Okay, which means that I'm gonna have to utilize a lot of my time for my studies. I will still continue to do the Friday night lives, and I will do TikToks on Tuesdays. Okay, I know I rotate back and forth between Tuesday and Wednesday, but my TikTok lives will be every Tuesday. The YouTube lives will be on Fridays, and when it comes to the one-on-ones, um, I will have to first make sure that my schedule is set, and it's I'm adjusted to it. So in the meantime, August is going to be filled with the one-on-ones because I don't start until September. But anytime after August, um, it will have to be through email because I have to first get accustomed to my schedule. Once I get accustomed to my schedule and I know more or less what's going on, then I will resume with the one-on-one sessions and the group sessions. But I will still do the lives on Tuesdays on TikTok and Fridays on YouTube. Thank you, Wheeler. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I mean, yeah, my which is why I'm going to school, guys. I don't know if you guys know, 'cause I know some of you weren't here last week, but I am going to an effort to try to obtain my degree in psychology so I can really really first of all be legit. but really, just really do what I need to do to really help make that difference. So there is a lot more that I need to learn. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the textbook of narcissist, and I know every little thing about any kind of mental illness and personality disorders. No, I don't, which is why I'm going to school. I'm going to school so I can understand, so I can learn how to properly assess, how to diagnose, and how to help people effectively heal. That is my concern. So I am definitely, looking forward to this. I'm definitely going to make this something that it's a priority for me. School is a priority for me now, alongside my son, of course. But school is a big priority for me because I have to get this done. I need to do this to get this, you know, so I can help people in more ways than one. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you, Stella. Thank you so much. And, thank you for the support. Everybody who supported me on this, thank you so much. I'm truly appreciative. I am, I want to work on more content. I want to do more things, and I will get to it. I will definitely get to it. Just bear with me because I do want to push forward with this. I really, really do. Thank you, Kara. Thank you. And once I become, I mean, well, you guys are with me now. So, and even if when I do become, if I become a psychologist and I do take on patients and I do these, you know, possibly make a living off of it, I will still be here. I will still be here. I'll still be here for, for other people. I will still be here on the content, making the content on the platforms. I will still be here. Amanda will still be here. We're just taking it up a notch. That's all. So I definitely, am super grateful for everybody, and even for those who weren't able to join the chat tonight. I know we're missing a lot more people, but that's perfectly fine. They'll catch it on the stream, I'm sure. And there's always love. I love you guys anyway. For those who couldn't make it, you guys already know who you are. I love you guys. And but yeah, guys, I actually just wanted to jump on tonight for a little bit and just get it going, just get talking. And I wasn't expecting to go as far back as I did, but I did. But I did. And that's okay. That's all right. You know, but yeah, thank you, Stella. Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys are family. You guys are family. And this is just something that I need to do. It is something I need to do. This has been probably my calling since I was a kid. Because even at like 7, 8 years old, guys, I was giving advice to people. And like people would talk to me, be like, "How old are you?" And I'm like, "I'm a kid," but I was always told I have an old soul. I have an old soul. So who knows? Maybe somebody's soul reincarnated in me. I have an old soul. So when you're giving people love advice or relational advice at 7 or 8 years old, that should be your sign. That should be a sign. But it's just too bad I couldn't take my own. Too bad I couldn't take my own. I think that was my problem. I was always too busy trying to help other people and focus on other people that I never really got around to helping myself. But everything happens for a reason, right, guys? Everything happens for a reason. Everything has its purpose. So we just, take it for what it is. And Butch, hey, if we're family, can I borrow two? Butch, you take IOU? That's what my family does. Yeah, no, I listen. I very few people in my family that I do keep close contact with, and you know, if they needed it, I would give it to them because I know that they would, borrowing and giving are two different things. So if someone says, "Can I borrow $200?" You can borrow $200. You have to pay it back. That's what borrowing is. I do have the pennies. I have pennies, Butch. I do have pennies. Oh, what did I do? I don't think, no, wait. Oh, okay. I'm like, what the hell? What did I do here? I think I clicked on something, guys. I don't know what I clicked on. Hi, Bittersweet. How are you? Hey, pennies of money. Pennies is money. Quarters, dimes, nickels. It's all money. It's all. I'm doing good, sweetheart. I'm doing good. Just here chit chatting it up with everybody. Well, not everybody. There's a lot of people, but listen. I understand. They have lives. I don't. I don't, because more than likely, if I'm not here doing the content, I'm gonna have my head in the books. I already actually purchased two books. My school told me I had to purchase two books. So for literature class, I haven't been in school for years and years. But I took my assessment yesterday. I took my assessment, and if you're familiar with colleges and universities, they have you take an assessment to just check where your cognitive skills are and stuff, which was very easy. Wasn't hard at all. And it's funny because there were about like five other people on there, and all of them, I swear, all of them fresh out of high school. Fresh out of high school. Like I smelled the baby formula. I did. They were so young. They were so young, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a son who is almost your age. I felt so old. I did. I felt old. I was like, I think besides the organizer giving the test, me and her were the only two oldest ones there. Me and her were the only two oldest ones there. So I don't really know if they could tell if I was older or not. Thank you. Oh yeah. Thank you, Bittersweet. Thank you. It was definitely. Absolutely. It's never too late, guys. If you ever want to go back to school, if you ever want to, get a degree in something that you've always wanted to achieve and never thought you could, even if it's just to have it, even if it's just to say, something, I accomplished this and I'm gonna do it. That's fine too. That's fine too. I always been mistaken for a teacher growing up. In high school, I looked like a teacher because I was tall and I was, always dressed up kind of like in professional attire. And people would always mistake me as a teacher. I could cut school and the police would never even stop me or ask for my ID because I looked like a grown woman. So you can imagine when I was sitting there, I saw kids. I'm like, okay, I'm like, you guys can be my children. That's how much it's so funny. You could be my kids. But it's definitely it just I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm really happy. Just keep me in your prayers, guys. Just keep me in your prayers. Keep passing the good vibes to me, and encouragement, please. I ask if you can encourage me because there are gonna be times that I'm gonna feel stumped. I know I have Amanda here, and I know she's always gonna be the one to kind of to keep pushing me, but I know there are times in life where we go through moments and we may want to give up, or you may want to say, oh, I forget it. This clearly is not going to be it for me because I really want this. I want to make this happen, and I want it to happen like ASAP. So I got to do what I got to do. And you guys are definitely my encouragement, my inspiration to do this. But you should not say that, Erica. Wait till you need to ask one of them a question or you missed a certain part of the lecture and need to ask one of them about it. Which one are you talking about? Do you get what he's saying?
I think you're talking about when you said that so young.
Oh, what you mean? Like if I need footnotes or something? Listen, listen.
So you like make friends with them.
Oh no, of course I'm a nice person. I'm a nice person. I mean, we'll have our classes. We're gonna have virtual classes, so we're gonna be in class.
Still gonna need study buddies.
Yeah, we study buddies, but I don't know the mentality of today's 18-year-old compared to the mentality of an 18-year-old when I was in high school or when I was, I don't know the mentality. So, well, I know one of them will say, "Show me your tits." I don't know.
What?
I'm gonna have to friggin' wear a sweater and my.
What? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't deal with youngins. I'm
Oh
40
my
years old. What? Who
God.
does that? I don't. I don't. I don't.
I'm Mardi Gras. What?
But anyways, guys, I am gonna call it a night because I am just
Oh
I've
yeah,
had
right in front of the teacher. They'll say that.
yeah, well, they don't care. People do not care, and especially if you're doing virtual class. You're doing a virtual class. Teacher looks away for a second. Who's gonna know?
Go there one day with short hair. Go back to the next session with long hair.
No, we'll be sitting there having freaking clickety clack wars because we can't even be like all in each other's face. Oh, guys. But yes, guys, thank you so very much just for being here tonight. Thank you so much just for being who you are. Thank you so much for supporting and inspiring me and encouraging me and reassuring me that what I'm doing is the right thing. I've always been one, not always, but since my newfound independence, I never needed the validation from anyone, but the support that you guys give me, it really means a lot. It really, really does. And I'm very appreciative of it. You guys are beautiful people, and I love you all for it. So, guys, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you again for being here tonight. I hope you have a beautiful remainder of your night, a wonderful weekend. I will be back on TikTok on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch me on there. And until, next Friday, I'll be here at 8 p.m. Hopefully, the entire fam can be here on that day. Thank you so much, Stella. Wheeler, thank you so much. I appreciate you all. I thank you all. I love you all. Have a beautiful night, a wonderful weekend. Love, peace, blessings, God's protection, good vibes, all that good stuff. I will see you all next week. Good night, guys.